The incredible story of Bend, Oregon, from ghost town to America's outdoor paradise. Bend, Oregon, from timber town ghost story to America's outdoor paradise. Picture this: a town so remote that mail came by dog sled in winter, where loggers worked by candlelight and families survived on beans and hope. The nearest doctor was 2 days away by train, and in winter storms, residents burned furniture just to stay alive. Children attended school in converted lumber company buildings, and a mill whistle controlled every aspect of daily life. This was Bend, Oregon in 1905, a place that seemed destined to become another forgotten Western ghost town. Fast forward to today, and you'll find a completely different reality. Tech entrepreneurs sip craft beer while planning their next mountain bike adventure down world-class trails. Former mill sites now host yoga retreats and farmers markets featuring organic lavender and grass-fed beef. The biggest challenge isn't surviving harsh winters anymore. It's finding affordable housing because everyone wants to live in this outdoor paradise. Real estate prices rival those in major metropolitan areas, and the waiting list for good restaurants stretches weeks into the future. The transformation from dying lumber town to America's most desirable outdoor destination didn't happen by accident. It's a story of vision, determination, and a willingness of an entire community to reinvent itself while honoring its hardscrabble past. From devastating forest fires to economic collapse, from isolation to integration, Bend has navigated every challenge imaginable to become something nobody could have predicted. This remarkable journey began in 1900 when Central Oregon was nothing but high desert wasteland. Sagebrush stretched endlessly toward the Cascade Mountains, interrupted only by the Deschutes River carving through ancient volcanic rock. Winters dropped temperatures to minus 20 degrees, summers scorched past 90, and the nearest railroad was over 100 miles away through treacherous mountain passes. Most travelers saw this landscape and kept moving toward more hospitable destinations. If you're loving this deep dive into American transformation stories, smash that subscribe button for Town Tales right now. We're building the ultimate community of people who understand that every town has an incredible story waiting to be discovered. Hit that like button and share this video with anyone who believes in the power of American ingenuity, determination, and the ability of communities to overcome seemingly impossible challenges. But two visionaries saw opportunity where others saw only desolation. In 1901, Alexander Drake arrived with a group of Minneapolis investors carrying what seemed like an insane business plan: build the largest lumber mill west of Minneapolis in the middle of absolutely nowhere. They had spotted something that escaped other entrepreneurs: the largest uncut ponderosa pine forest in America, stretching across Central Oregon like an endless green ocean of untapped wealth. The challenge seemed insurmountable. How do you harvest millions of board feet of timber, process it into finished lumber, and transport to markets when the nearest transportation hub requires days of wagon travel through mountain wilderness? Drake's solution was brilliant and borderline crazy. He convinced railroad executives to extend their lines south from the Dalles, promising them enough lumber business to justify the enormous construction costs. Meanwhile, construction began on what would become the Brooks-Scanlon Lumber Company mill, powered entirely by the Deschutes River through an innovative dam and turbine system. By the time the railroad arrived in 1905, Bend was officially incorporated, though calling it a town was generous. It was more like an industrial work camp that happened to have a post office, a company store, and housing built entirely by and for the lumber company. Life in early Bend was brutally difficult. Workers lived in company housing, shopped exclusively at the company store, and sent their children to the company school. The mill whistle didn't just signal shift changes, it governed every aspect of existence in this remote outpost. Families paid company prices for everything from flour to medicine, often going into debt that tied them permanently to the mill. Winter isolation lasted for months at a time. Supply trains frequently got snowed in for weeks, leaving families to ration whatever food they had stored in burned furniture when firewood ran out. Medical emergencies usually meant death, since the nearest qualified doctor was in Portland, accessible only when weather-permitted train travel. Women gave birth, assisted by neighbors with no medical training, and children died from diseases that would have been easily treatable in established communities. Yet people stayed, drawn by steady wages that seemed generous compared to uncertain prospects elsewhere. There was also the promise, constantly promoted by company recruiters, that this rough existence was temporary. Bend would grow into a proper town with all the amenities of civilized life. The mill would expand, more businesses would arrive, and those who endured these early hardships would benefit from getting in on the ground floor of something big. The first major test of community survival came in 1910, when massive forest fires swept through Central Oregon. The sky turned black for days as ash fell like snow throughout the region. The lumber mill shut down completely as every able-bodied person joined firefighting efforts that often seemed hopeless against the enormous blazes consuming entire mountainsides. Logging camps were evacuated, their workers fleeing with whatever possessions they could carry. For one terrifying week, it looked like Bend itself might be consumed by flames that had already destroyed other communities throughout the region. The town survived only through unprecedented cooperation, with families taking in evacuees, sharing scarce food supplies, and working together in ways that created bonds lasting for generations. This crisis revealed something important about Bend's character. Instead of abandoning the community when faced with existential threat, residents doubled down on their commitment to making it work. The shared experience of nearly losing everything created a collective determination to build something permanent and worthwhile in this challenging environment. World War I brought unexpected prosperity that validated their faith. Military demand for lumber skyrocketed, with contracts for everything from military barracks to aircraft construction. Bend's mills operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with workers earning overtime wages that seemed almost too good to be true after years of barely getting by. The population doubled almost overnight as workers poured in from across the country. This influx of people and money transformed Bend from a company town into something resembling a real American community. The first brick buildings replaced wooden storefronts downtown. A proper hotel opened, along with restaurants, shops, and even a movie theater that showed the latest films from Hollywood. For the first time, Bend felt like a place with a future beyond just lumber production. Families who had been saving money to leave instead began investing in permanent improvements to their homes and businesses. Children who had been expected to work in the mills began talking about college and careers in the wider world. But this prosperity contained the seeds of future crisis. The wartime lumber boom created overproduction that flooded markets and drove down prices throughout the 1920s. Worse, southern pine forests proved cheaper to harvest and closer to major population centers, undermining the economic advantages that had made Central Oregon lumber profitable. One by one, smaller mills throughout the region closed their doors. Families who had invested everything in Bend packed up and moved to cities where jobs still existed. By 1930, the population had shrunk by 40%, leaving entire neighborhoods of empty houses and businesses that served as monuments to dreams that hadn't panned out. The Great Depression nearly finished what the lumber bust had started. Unemployment in Bend reached 60%, far higher than national averages. Families survived by growing vegetable gardens and catching fish from the Deschutes River. The city government couldn't afford to maintain streets, provide adequate police protection, or operate schools at acceptable standards. There were serious discussions about whether Bend should be abandoned entirely, with remaining residents relocating to Portland or Seattle, where economic opportunities still existed. The infrastructure built during the boom years was deteriorating rapidly, and there seemed to be no realistic prospect for economic recovery based on traditional industries. Salvation came from an unexpected source that would prove crucial to Bend's eventual transformation. The federal government established civilian conservation corps camps throughout Central Oregon, putting young men to work building roads, bridges, and recreational facilities in the surrounding national forests. These projects didn't just provide desperately needed employment. They began transforming the region into a destination for outdoor recreation. For the first time, people were visiting Central Oregon not for work, but for pleasure. CCC crews built campgrounds, hiking trails, and scenic overlooks that showcased the area's natural beauty to tourists who had never experienced high desert landscapes and mountain wilderness accessible from the same base location. The real turning point came after World War II, when Americans discovered leisure travel and outdoor recreation as regular parts of middle-class life. Bend's location, which had been a liability during its industrial phase, suddenly became its greatest asset. Mount Bachelor offered world-class skiing just 22 miles from downtown. The Cascade Lakes provided fishing, boating, and camping opportunities. The high desert offered hiking, hunting, and horseback riding in landscapes that looked like movie sets. Smart local leaders recognized this opportunity and made a crucial decision that would define Bend's future. Instead of trying to attract heavy industry to replace the failing lumber mills, they began marketing Central Oregon as a recreational paradise. The strategy required patience and long-term thinking, since tourism revenue would never match the immediate impact of major industrial employers. The first ski area on Mount Bachelor opened in 1958, initially featuring just a rope tow and a basic warming hut. But it was enough to attract winter visitors who had never experienced Central Oregon's unique combination of abundant powder snow and sunny skies. Word spread among serious skiers about this hidden gem where you could ski pristine slopes without fighting crowds. Tourism growth through the 1960s and 1970s was steady but manageable, allowing Bend to maintain its small-town character while building infrastructure needed to support visitors. New hotels and restaurants opened. Recreational outfitters established businesses serving hunters and fishermen, and the old lumber mill sites were cleaned up and redeveloped for tourism-related uses. Young entrepreneurs began moving to Bend permanently, many of them former visitors who had fallen in love with the area and decided to build businesses there. These newcomers brought fresh ideas and energy while respecting the community values and outdoor focus that made Bend attractive in the first place. You can scan the QR code appearing on your screen right now, or check the link in our video description for detailed maps, historical photographs, and additional resources documenting Bend's incredible transformation from lumber town to outdoor recreation paradise. The 1980s brought the next major challenge: managing growth without losing the qualities that made Bend special. City planners implemented some of the most progressive growth management policies in America, concentrating development in designated areas while preserving green spaces and natural areas that define the community's character. Building codes were established to ensure new construction complemented the natural environment rather than overwhelming it. Height restrictions, architectural guidelines, and landscaping requirements created a development pattern that honored both Bend's small-town heritage and its spectacular natural setting. This decade also saw the beginning of Bend's craft beer culture, which would eventually become a major tourist attraction. Deschutes Brewery opened in 1988, founded by Gary Fish, who believed that exceptional beer required exceptional water. Bend's water, filtered through miles of volcanic rock, was among the purest in America, perfect for brewing distinctive beers that reflected the area's unique character. The brewery started small, serving primarily the local market, but word spread quickly among beer enthusiasts about these exceptional brews created in the high desert. Deschutes became the foundation for what would eventually grow into one of America's most concentrated and successful craft brewing scenes. The 1990s marked Bend's emergence as a legitimate resort destination capable of competing with established mountain communities throughout the West. Mount Bachelor underwent major expansion, adding new lifts, terrain, and facilities that made it one of America's premier ski areas. The resort's success drew national attention to Central Oregon as a winter sports destination. The Old Mill District represented another crucial development, transforming the abandoned lumber mill site into an upscale shopping and entertainment complex. The project honored the area's industrial heritage through architectural design and historical displays, while creating modern amenities that served both residents and visitors. But the real transformation began in the 2000s, when technology workers discovered they could live anywhere with reliable high-speed internet access. Bend offered everything urban professionals wanted: outstanding outdoor recreation opportunities, clean air and water, a vibrant downtown scene, excellent schools, and a community of like-minded people who prioritize quality of life over maximizing income. This migration accelerated dramatically after 2010, as remote work became more common and Bend's reputation spread through social media platforms that showcase the area's recreational opportunities and lifestyle advantages. Technology companies began opening satellite offices to attract and retain employees who wanted to live in places like Bend. California entrepreneurs started purchasing second homes that gradually became primary residences as they discovered they could maintain their businesses while enjoying a completely different lifestyle. The outdoor recreation industry exploded, with major companies like YETI and Patagonia, along with dozens of smaller firms, establishing operations in Central Oregon. The growth brought challenges that would have seemed impossible during Bend's Lumbertown days. Housing prices soared as demand far exceeded supply, creating affordability problems that threatened the community's economic diversity. Traffic increased dramatically on roads designed for a much smaller population, and parking became a serious issue in downtown areas. Service workers found themselves priced out of the community they served, forced to commute from cheaper housing in outlying areas. Longtime residents worried that Bend was losing its authentic character, becoming just another expensive playground for wealthy newcomers rather than a real community where people of different backgrounds could afford to live and work. Bend's response to these challenges has been characteristically innovative and community-minded. The city has invested heavily in affordable housing programs, including partnerships with major employers to provide workforce housing for teachers, firefighters, healthcare workers, and other essential personnel. Transportation initiatives have focused on creating alternatives to automobile dependence through expanded public transit and an extensive network of bicycle paths that make car-free living practical for many daily activities. Downtown development has been carefully managed to preserve historic character while accommodating growth pressures. The outdoor recreation industry has become Bend's primary economic driver, but it's supported by a surprisingly diverse economic base. Technology services, healthcare, education, and advanced manufacturing all play significant roles in providing year-round employment opportunities that don't depend entirely on seasonal tourism. Central Oregon Community College has expanded dramatically, offering programs specifically designed for the modern economy while maintaining strong vocational training in traditional trades. The college serves both traditional students and adults changing careers, often professionals who have moved to Bend for lifestyle reasons and need training for new fields. Bend's food scene perfectly reflects its evolution from isolated lumber town to sophisticated destination. Downtown restaurants serve everything from farm-to-table Pacific Northwest cuisine featuring local ingredients to authentic international dishes prepared by chefs who have relocated from major metropolitan areas. The weekly farmers market has become a major community gathering that showcases local producers who have turned high desert agriculture into an art form. Vendors sell everything from lavender and herbs to grass-fed beef and artisanal cheeses, all produced using sustainable methods that work with rather than against the challenging high desert environment. The craft beer industry that began with Deschutes Brewery has exploded into a major tourist attraction in its own right. Bend now has more breweries per capita than almost any American city, each with its own distinct personality and specialty styles that reflect the creativity and independence of their founders. Beer tourism brings visitors from around the world who plan entire vacations around sampling Bend's breweries. This industry contributes significantly to the local economy while maintaining the community-oriented atmosphere that makes Bend special, since most breweries remain locally owned and operated. Recreation opportunities in the Bend area seem almost unlimited for people interested in outdoor activities. Mount Bachelor offers some of America's best skiing and snowboarding, with terrain suitable for every skill level and snow conditions that regularly rank among the nation's best. The resort operates one of the longest ski seasons in North America, often staying open through July for summer skiing. Summer brings world-class mountain biking on trails that range from gentle forest paths suitable for families to heart-stopping downhill runs that challenge professional athletes. The trail system has been developed through partnerships between public agencies, private landowners, and volunteer organizations that maintain hundreds of miles of single-track trails. The Deschutes River, which once powered Bend's lumber mills, now provides outstanding fishing, kayaking, and rafting opportunities. The river runs directly through downtown Bend, creating the unique experience of being able to attend a business meeting in the morning and catch wild trout for dinner in the evening. Central Oregon's high desert landscape offers hiking opportunities that seem designed by nature specifically for outdoor enthusiasts. Trails lead through ancient lava flows, past pristine mountain lakes, and up volcanic peaks that provide spectacular views of the entire Cascade Range. Smith Rock State Park, located just 30 minutes from Bend, is considered one of America's premier rock climbing destinations. The park features hundreds of climbing routes on spectacular rock formations that attract climbers from around the world. The area has been featured in countless climbing magazines and documentaries as one of the sport's most important locations in North America. The Three Sisters Wilderness provides backcountry experiences that can make visitors feel like the first humans to explore this volcanic landscape. Hiking trails lead to alpine lakes, glaciated peaks, and lava fields that demonstrate the ongoing geological processes that continue shaping this dynamic region. Golf enthusiasts have access to courses that take full advantage of Central Oregon's natural beauty and favorable climate. Courses designed by renowned architects incorporate lava rock formations, ancient juniper trees, and dramatic mountain views into challenges that attract golfers from around the world. Bend's commitment to environmental sustainability reflects values that trace back to the community's founding in a harsh environment where resource conservation meant survival. The modern city has embraced renewable energy, water conservation, and waste reduction as fundamental principles that guide all development decisions. Solar panels are increasingly common on both residential and commercial buildings, taking advantage of Central Oregon's abundant sunshine. Local food systems are strongly supported through farmers markets, community-supported agriculture programs, and restaurants that prioritize locally sourced ingredients. Outdoor recreation businesses operate under strict environmental guidelines designed to preserve the natural resources that make their activities possible. Trail maintenance, wildlife protection, and habitat restoration are ongoing priorities supported by both businesses and individual outdoor enthusiasts. The education system has evolved to serve both traditional families and the growing number of professionals who have relocated to Bend for lifestyle reasons. Public schools consistently rank among Oregon's best, with programs that emphasize both academic excellence and outdoor education that takes advantage of the area's natural classroom opportunities. Private schools and homeschooling cooperatives provide additional educational options for families seeking specific approaches to their children's learning. Many of these alternatives incorporate outdoor education, environmental science, and experiential learning that would be impossible in traditional urban settings. Higher education opportunities have expanded dramatically to serve Bend's growing and increasingly diverse population. Oregon State University Cascades offers four-year degree programs with small class sizes and close faculty relationships that provide personalized attention often unavailable at larger institutions. The campus has been designed to integrate with Bend's natural environment and outdoor recreation culture, featuring architecture that reflects regional building traditions and programs that incorporate sustainability and environmental stewardship as core values. Healthcare has been a major focus as Bend's population has grown and diversified. St. Charles Health System has expanded significantly, offering specialized medical services that previously required travel to Portland or other major medical centers. The system now provides comprehensive care, including cardiac surgery, cancer treatment, and advanced diagnostic services. The medical community includes practitioners who have specifically chosen to relocate to Bend for the lifestyle advantages, bringing expertise from major urban medical centers to serve the Central Oregon region. This has created a healthcare system that combines small-town accessibility with big city expertise and technology. Arts and culture have flourished alongside Bend's economic growth and population expansion. The Tower Theater, originally built in 1940 as a movie palace, has been beautifully restored as a premier venue for live music, theater, and other performances that attract nationally known artists and entertainers. Local art galleries showcase work by artists who have been inspired by Central Oregon's dramatic landscapes and unique cultural blend. Many artists have relocated to Bend specifically for the combination of natural inspiration and supportive artistic community that has developed around the city's cultural renaissance. The High Desert Museum represents a unique institution that combines natural history, art, and cultural exhibits to tell the comprehensive story of this distinctive region. The museum features living exhibits of native wildlife, historical displays documenting human habitation from Native American cultures through modern development, and rotating art exhibitions that celebrate both traditional and contemporary regional artists. Bend's festival calendar reflects the community's diverse interests and welcoming spirit toward visitors from around the world. The Bend Film Festival has grown into a significant event that attracts independent filmmakers and cinema enthusiasts for screenings, workshops, and networking opportunities that rival those available in major metropolitan areas. Oktoberfest celebrates the city's German brewing heritage while showcasing the contemporary craft beer scene that has made Bend famous among beer enthusiasts. The festival combines traditional German music, food, and beer with innovative local brews that demonstrate how traditional techniques can be adapted for modern tastes. The Pole Pedal Paddle Race has become Bend's signature sporting event, combining alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, cycling, and kayaking into a uniquely Central Oregon competition that draws athletes and spectators from across the country. The race celebrates the area's diverse recreational opportunities while creating a community celebration that brings together locals and visitors. Winter sports culture extends far beyond Mount Bachelor's downhill ski slopes to encompass Nordic skiing, snowshoeing, and fat tire biking that have created year-round outdoor recreation opportunities. Ice climbing and mountaineering attract serious athletes who come from around the world to tackle challenging routes in the Cascade Mountains, while family-friendly activities ensure that everyone can enjoy Central Oregon's winter wonderland. The real estate market reflects Bend's incredible desirability, but also creates ongoing challenges for community sustainability. Luxury developments offer amenities that rival any resort destination, with custom homes featuring mountain views, private trails, and architectural designs that blend seamlessly with the natural environment. Meanwhile, affordable housing initiatives work continuously to ensure that teachers, firefighters, healthcare workers, and service employees can afford to live in the community they serve. This balance between prosperity and accessibility remains one of Bend's most important ongoing challenges, requiring creative solutions and community commitment. Transportation infrastructure has struggled to keep pace with explosive growth, but innovative solutions continue emerging. The city has invested heavily in roundabouts that improve traffic flow while maintaining Bend's pedestrian-friendly character. Extensive bike lanes and multi-use paths create practical alternatives to automobile travel for many daily activities, supporting both environmental goals and quality of life. Public transportation has expanded to connect Bend with surrounding communities, making it possible for workers to live in more affordable areas while still accessing employment opportunities in the city center. Shuttle services connect major recreational areas with downtown, reducing traffic congestion while providing convenient access to outdoor activities. Bend's business community represents a fascinating blend of outdoor recreation companies, technology firms, healthcare providers, and service businesses that creates an economy both diverse and remarkably resilient. The presence of so many entrepreneurs and creative professionals has fostered a culture of innovation and collaboration that drives continued growth and adaptation to changing economic conditions. The technology sector includes both established companies and startups, many founded by professionals who relocated to Bend specifically for the lifestyle advantages. These businesses often focus on outdoor recreation technology, environmental monitoring, and remote work solutions that reflect their founders' values and interests. Environmental stewardship remains absolutely central to Bend's identity and future planning. The community that was originally built around harvesting natural resources has evolved into one dedicated to preserving and protecting the environment that defines its character and economic foundation. Water conservation programs address the reality of living in a high desert environment where every drop counts. Renewable energy initiatives take advantage of Central Oregon's abundant solar and wind resources. Sustainable development practices are supported enthusiastically by businesses and residents who understand that environmental protection and economic prosperity must work together. The city's commitment to environmental responsibility extends to waste reduction programs, habitat restoration projects, and transportation planning that prioritizes alternatives to single-occupancy vehicle use. These efforts reflect both practical necessity and deeply held values about humanity's relationship with the natural world. Looking toward the future, Bend faces the ongoing challenge of managing continued growth while preserving the qualities that make it special. Housing affordability remains a critical issue, requiring innovative solutions and sustained community commitment. Transportation infrastructure needs continued investment to serve a growing population without sacrificing the walkable, bike-friendly character that residents value. Environmental protection becomes increasingly important as development pressure intensifies. Climate change poses long-term challenges for water supplies, fire management, and the outdoor recreation activities that form the foundation of Bend's economy. Addressing these challenges will require the same spirit of innovation and community cooperation that enabled Bend's remarkable transformation. The story of Bend, Oregon represents something essentially and uniquely American: the ability to reinvent and adapt while honoring the past. From lumber town to outdoor paradise, from isolated outpost to destination community, Bend has navigated dramatic changes while maintaining the pioneer spirit and community values that enabled its survival and remarkable success. This transformation didn't happen by accident or luck. It required vision, careful planning, and the willingness of residents to make tough decisions about growth and development priorities. It required embracing necessary change while preserving essential character, welcoming newcomers while maintaining community spirit, and balancing economic opportunity with environmental responsibility. Today's Bend would be completely unrecognizable to those early lumber workers who built the first mill and carved a community from high desert wilderness. Yet they would immediately recognize the spirit of determination, innovation, and mutual support that continues to drive this remarkable community forward into an uncertain but promising future. The challenges have changed dramatically, but the fundamental commitment to creating a place where people can thrive while respecting the natural environment remains constant. The mill whistle no longer governs daily life, but the values of hard work, community cooperation, and environmental stewardship continue defining what it means to be part of Bend's ongoing story. The transformation from company town to outdoor recreation paradise demonstrates how American communities can adapt to changing economic realities while preserving their essential character. Bend's success offers lessons for other communities facing similar challenges of growth management, economic diversification, and environmental protection. Most importantly, Bend's story proves that small communities can achieve remarkable things when residents share a vision and commit to working together toward common goals. The same spirit that enabled survival during harsh early winters and Devis